I guess welcome to my first video. Um, I was mixing these samples or these new drum loops for a pack that I'm working on for a friend. I went to an LA studio that we work out of often called Sound Factory, recorded these drums in the smaller side of room A, which I hadn't used before, and I'm actually really excited about it because I was having trouble working out of the bigger side of that room. I like really tight drum sounds, like really like drum machiney sounds, basically. Like ideally I want to make Lin drums or DX drums with my drum set. That's what I want it to sound like. The smaller room did the trick. I'm just going to go over what kind of mics we used and stuff like that just to get it started. So we have everything here. So we have the inner kick that was like a RE20. I love that, like right on the beater pretty much, but I ended up not really liking the sound overall for what I was doing. For the kick, I used a Heiserman H47. That's out right outside of the rim of the kick. The snare top is 57. A Snare 84, that's a cam 184 by Neumann. I taped that to the 57 and phase aligned the capsules. Snare bottom is 57. Hat is also a cam 184. The racks, I used Neumann cam 86s, which are like these vintage Neumann hex head mics. They sound super amazing. I'll use them on anything for percussion or room mics or anything like that. They will smoke so many mics. I love those mics. For overheads, we use C12As, and for the ribbon, it was an RCA 77. I don't remember if it was a DX or what exact model it was, but it was a vintage RCA 77, which I do like on drums a lot, especially for kind of like, they get a little boxy, but in a good way. And then for rooms that were kind of out in front of the kit, I did Coles. My friend Nate actually placed those, and they were really, really cool. Really nice sound. They're kind of like 4 feet off the floor and snare out in front of the kit facing me while I was performing, and I love the way those sounded. Overheads are pretty low. They're probably like 44 inches off the axis of the kick and snare each over rack and floor. But this has been drier sound, so I haven't been using a lot of them. Let's see here. Let's just kind of look at what I have to work with. I haven't done a lot of stuff in 110 yet, so I can check out there. 75 or like 150 in the case here, I like to play double time to a click. 75 is usually like one of my favorite tempos to work in, just because you can jump to 150 and have like that double time, and it like has such a nice slow groove but such a nice fast groove at the same time. So let me see what we have here. Let me find a loop to mess with. A lot of this is like recording a ton of material and then just like digging through and seeing, oh, that sounds good, or that sounds like crap. I will be all over the place. Some of this stuff is going to sound horrible. But let's see. Double time. I'm going to throw on Devil Lock. I've been really liking that. Let me see here. It's going to be massive volume difference too right now. Did I do any hi-hats in that? Let's see. I think I'll start... I think I'm going to start with that one. So let me see here. Get rid of... I really like that. So the way I edit stuff, I usually edit by hand. I don't know if it's because I never really learned how to edit, in Pro Tools very well, but I also tend to find that it just sounds better to me. Rather than kind of like clip separation and like spreading everything. I also really want to pay attention to the transients. And I like the way my drums sound, so it works for me, and I don't know, makes it easier to mute tracks that aren't being used. Gates are amazing tools. I have never liked how they work, and I don't like having control. I don't like not having control over the transients. It drives me absolutely crazy. So let's see here. There we go. I have these grouped together. I like all my drum tracks to be edited together when I'm doing this, so that way, like, basically when I'm moving them around, the phase isn't going all over the place. I got these like fairly phase aligned. I could probably do it further, and maybe I will tweak it. I'm not sure. It sounds good to me. You know, sometimes you could tweak it so much and then it ends up being worse than before, and so I always try to like keep like it as close to the original as possible, and then if I really need some stuff like to I don't know, sound better in the low end or something like that, I'll mess with the phase. But for the most part, we did it pretty good right from the beginning. So let me see what I have here. I think I'll do 4 bars for this one. I'm just hitting those to here where that transient is. Let's see. 4 bars. That's plenty enough. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to highlight all these from here to here. And I'm just going to full quantize it. I want it to be pretty straight. Let's listen to that. I mean, that sounds nice. Those little spaces, like, I know it's not ideal, but sometimes on samples it can be really cool. Like, you know, you wouldn't normally, maybe like if I was recording a band and stuff, I probably wouldn't leave that in there, but I might just do some fades and kind of see what that sounds like. A lot of that, you know, the obviousness or like how obvious those little spaces are will go away once I start muting stuff anyways. So let's see what that sounds like. So I'm going to start with the kick. Take it out of group mode so I can just kind of like get rid of some of this stuff. Oopsies. I'm just going to slowly start pulling bleed away. So anywhere where that kick, same with the snares, you can hear it right away how much bleed goes away from that. And once again, you could do this with a gate. I never really liked the way it sounded. And also, I want drum machine sounds. And I want it to sound kind of like the same every hit. A lot of that is playing. A lot of it is editing. Let's see here. It's kind of tough with when you have the cymbals in there with like snares that are this long. I might use a transient designer to get them a little tighter. Let's see here. Because I don't want... Yeah. That's nice. You don't want that cymbal like... Shh, shh. If I want any more decay from it, I can use like reverb, which I think I already have on there a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see. I have delay echo boy right here on the hi-hat. I use on some hi-hat loops, but it's on the floors too. That's that kind of like boxy room sound I was talking about, like with the RCA 77. It's really nice, but I want this to be like really... Man, you can really hear how much that devil lock is doing to this. It's insane. This is what that looks like, by the way. I'm crunching it quite a bit. No crush. Fast mode. Darkness is really nice. I think I'm maxing it out on the mix. Could bring it back a little bit. But God, it's a huge difference. I love Sound Toys. Probably my favorite plugins. Darkness. So nice. Back. But I'm not digging the room sound, so I want to keep it really clear. Yeah, that's with all those little no more bleed in the mics. It's super duper clean. I just love that sound. One thing I do on my snare bottoms a lot, especially with like the sample packs I make, is add a little bit of micro shift to the bottom. It just kind of splits that high end a bit. It's not very much, but let me see here. It's honestly almost barely noticeable with the plate being behind it. Here. Let me hear that more. There we are. Just like a little bit. Sometimes, you know, using the snare bottom, I'll use it more like if I want brightness to the snare, I don't have to add anything to it right now, just because I can have that snare bottom to add that high end that I want. Not decay, even. Let's see. I will bring these up a little bit because I need some of that overhead. Let's see. You can hear those spaces a little more there. Do I even want them? I don't even know if I want it to be a ride loop. Let's see here. That's pretty fun. Let's see here. Let's record that. Let's see here. To name it properly. You know, I didn't really care. Oopsies. I didn't really care about being organized until I got into the sample world, and you know, basic. You have to stay organized. It's absolutely insane. If you don't do it, like, you have to keep track of, like, if you have people that you're reporting to, like, while you're making these packs and stuff, it's going to make it so much easier for them to go through and see what you actually have in the pack rather than a bunch of files. Also, you don't want to, you know, regardless of how much you keep track, there's always little mistakes, and you know, you want to keep track of as much as you can, because if you have a bunch of little mistakes and a bunch of little slips at the end, it's just going to be a mess. So make sure you do that. That's one. Let's see if there's another one that's a little more fun. I did that one. capsules. This could be fun. Messy. Where's that tom loop that I liked? You know what? This one might be a little wild, but what can you do? Let's see what it sounds like. Kind of radio department-y, or I think we'll hopefully get it sounding something like that, at least. Where is that? Where is that? Halfway. Almost there. Little quantize. This you don't want. Don't any of that weird stuff. So, the reason why I cut out those bottoms is, like, you know, I try my best to do this when I tune the drums and when I mic the drums and stuff, but that snare bottom, it is insane. It just has the floor tom in it the whole time. It's like rattling those snares. And I just don't want that. Let's see. And also, I do this a lot because I want that drum machine sound, but like sometimes the bleed is really cool. Like it's obviously much more natural, but I don't want these to sound natural. You know, I want them to sound very fake, because that's the way I like my drums sound. Sounds pretty cool. And let's trim that floor. Not bad. Probably need to add a few fades. Few. Right at the beginning sounds a little funky. What is going on? I mean, the tricky thing with live drums is that you are working with so many different transients, and if I don't hit the kick or the floor at the exact same time, or like the snare and the floor at the same time, you're gonna have like basically like multiple hits that just doesn't sound quite right sometimes. So let's see what it can do. Let's see here. Fan of HLA. I will use that ping pong mode. That sounds crazy. That's it. It's like a nice reverb once it bring it down a little bit. That's what I have my kick right now. I have a Pro Q doing some dynamics without it's a lot of shaping, and then I have this tightening up the release of the kick. It's kind of a bigger kick. I think it was like 24-inch 70s Ludwig 6-ply. I usually use like three ply hoops, but this kit is my stepdad's. Just happened to be 6-ply, and it is a nice sounding kit. Hitting this quite a lot, 5 dBs. I'm trying to knock off a lot of that transient. I love the way the LI3As grab. And then just some boost and cutting on the top. It got a little bit too machiney, like drum machiney with that thing, and I don't want the click. I want it to be a little raw. Not using pre-delay. Sometimes it can be really helpful, but I don't know. Sometimes I just prefer no pre-delay. exact way that I want it right now. Need some more of that on. I just want a kiss of it. I just want a little bit to sound like it's not just all closed mics, essentially. I like the way that sounds. On the bus, I have this kind of like gluing it together. Sometimes if I wanted it to like control the transients a little bit more, I'd hit that attack faster. But this sounds nice to me. Another thing I'll do, which is not super uncommon, but if I want to lock it down further, I'll experiment with, that's if I really want those transients to go. It can get louder, but it gets a little too crush. I might do something like that. Lock it down. It sounds more natural, but you can get a little bit more volume if you crush it a bit. And then I have an MO1. I don't know why you guys changed the design on this. It drives me crazy. I love the other one. It's so pretty, but I support you. I don't know if I like that more. Bring this back. I do want to control some of that transient of the snare. I'm not digging that, so I think I'm going to use the Pro Q3 in a dynamic mode. Or, no, it is that. Bring it back quite a lot. Honestly, I think it's a bad edit. There's something here that is funky. I'm not sure what it is yet. The flam? I'm not sure. Can I live with it? Probably. Oh, you know what? Might be delay too. Yeah, I don't like that. It's not that the compressor's fine. It is, I don't like whatever's happening on that first snare hit. So let's try that. You can hear a little bit of that phase discrepancy. The lows and low mids go away a little bit. Let's see. It's probably like 90 out of phase though, because it's not perfect. Definitely more low end with it flipped though. That's nice. Alright. I think that sounds good. Sounds fun. Let's record it. When I'm making these loops, I also like to do it so I record it a few times because I want the compressors to act right. If you start the loop right off the bat, the compressor has to like catch itself, and that first transient's going to hit really hard and the rest is going to be compressed. It's going to sound terrible. So I use loop record to kind of get my signal chain going, essentially. You only have to do it once or twice through, or twice through at least, but sometimes I like listening to it. The reverb will be different every time, you know, regardless of it being a plugin, it is still an algorithm and will change, and sometimes some loops just sound better. I also have ADHD and OCD, so sometimes it just feels right when it does. Let's see what that sounds like. This one, what should we call it? We'll call it Baby. Underscore 75 underscore drum underscore baby. Coming up with names is always a fun part of sample making. You know, make things that people will be like, what is this? And I think that's enough for today. I've already bounced like a ton of loops out. Export. Well, I hope this was helpful. I don't know. I wanted to start making videos, figured it'd be kind of like fun to show like sample creation process. This is mainly what I do, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I will ask them as much as I can. Have a good day, y'all. Take care. Be safe. Goodbye.